Good afternoon, everyone. Sahasraksham Puranisham Sodarum Cha Saraswatim Janakam Janayatri Shastrado Pranamayatma. Myself Dr. Narayan K.R. So today, before we start the topic, am I audible? So before we start the topic, since we have all first years, second years, third years, interns, PGs, faculties and practitioners as well. So we'll have a brief introduction from your side regarding the topic, and then we'll proceed with the actual topic. Okay? So the topic, as you can see, is RAKTA CHINTANA. So we'll be talking about RAKTA, not just as RAKTA in description and all. So we'll be talking about a specific part of RAKTA, which is again, I can say, one among the very important, I can say even widely debated topic of Ayurveda. And I can even say it's a most controversial topic also, I can say. It doesn't make wrong if I say controversial topic. So before going to that topic, we'll just have a introduction from your side, like what RAKTA actually is, as per your views, as per your understanding, what RAKTA actually is. So anyone from the audience, anyone from first year to anyone, so as per your knowledge, what RAKTA is and why is it important? Anyone, it can be anything. It can be simple as it is a dhatu, it is a vital component of the body, anything. So I'd like to know from your side, what is your present understanding about RAKTA? Anyone, it can be as simple as I said. Or if you have anything complex understanding of RAKTA, please do share.
RAKTA is dhatu.
RAKTA is dhatu, yes, good. Okay. Next, anything else?
Trans. One among the trans.
Yes.
Raktam Jeevati.
Raktam Jeevati Siddha, yes. It is considered as Jiva because it is a vital component of the body. And anything else? So all these are with respect to the functions what we just heard. So what about with respect to the diseases? So how RAKTA is important with respect to the causation of disease, with respect to treatment of disease? Any views on the causation of disease with a view of RAKTA?
Because rest of the dhatus are formed after Rakta. So if Rakta gets doshit or vitiated, then rest of the dhatus will get affected, and hence it could further disease may spread or may increase. Apart from that, Rakta is Sarva Sharira Sancharana. So that will again, it's like, with respect to diseases, that's how it is important.
Okay, the portion of the subsequent dhatus will get hampered.
Yes.
So meant to say. Okay. Because Rasadhatu Vikriti will lead to Rakshadhatu Vikriti, and subsequent dhatus will also undergo Vikriti in their portion, leading to many doshita vikaras. Anything else? So I give you a clue. With respect to specific causation of Vyadhis like Rana, one of the common example.
In 20th chapter of Sambhasha by Janaka, he has explained various diseases with respect to Rakta, like Kushtabhija, Pidaka, Rakta Masriktaraha.
Yes.
Medhasya Pakashta.
So Rakta doshita vikaras. Yes.
So along with that, in the Sutrasthana 21st chapter, he has also explained the various nidanas, like 42 to 43 nidanas. And also diseases also he has explained. There he has mentioned like the main chikitsa for Rakta, like Virechana, Rakta Mukshana. These are the important chikitsa krama that has to be followed.
Okay. Good. So as she said, very rightly she said, so it is responsible for causation of various vikaras like Visarpa, Kushta and so on. So can we say this as it is a main causative factor for causation of various Rakta Pradoshita Vikaras? Can we consider Rakta as Dhatu or Dosha not as Dhatu? No? So is there any classical difference that Sushruta has told that Rakta is Dosha? Okay, so I wanted everybody to come to this point. So that was the main intention of asking you questions. The main topic what we'll be discussing now is to sort of clear this confusion as what we have to understand Rakta as. So no doubt, again I will give you a disclaimer before I start this. It is not a topic of discussion to categorize or to label Rakta as Dhatu or Dosha. So it is no doubt a Dhatu, second Dhatu, but we are not categorizing or we are not labeling the Rakta Dhatu as dosha here. We are not trying to do that. So we are trying to collect many references that is available in multiple samhitas, and we are trying to analyze and we are trying to explain what the acharyas meant by that, meant by sharing different words that will make us think that Rakta might be a dosha rather than dhatu. So we try to analyze those references. And again, so it is not labeling, it is not categorizing Rakta as dosha, it is just understanding. We are just trying to understand multiple references and we are trying to know what the acharyas really mean by saying those words with respect to Rakta. Right? So once we got this question now, so we have a point of discussion now. Again, so this interaction what I am trying to have, let it be two-way always, it is not one-sided. So I expect you to also interact during the session because the name of our seminar is Tadvidya Sambhasha, and Tadvidya Sambhasha is Buddhi Vardhanana. It is not like conventional regular seminars where one will be talking and many will be listening. So here one will be starting the discussion, many will give their inputs or add on to the discussion, and everyone will gain knowledge. So this is the motto what we are trying to have here. So once we start the discussions, start the presentation, I expect and I want everybody to be involved, give your opinions. It may be correct or may not be correct, so it doesn't matter. So at least I would like to have your opinion from your side also with respect to what we are discussing. Right? So moving on. So what is this question? So as we are discussing now, this topic what we have taken up now, is it the question asked by me or is it there in the Samhitas also? That the question of whether to consider Rakta as dosha. So is it the question asked by me? No, it is definitely not. So we'll see the reference where this context has come up. So it is again not given in Sushruta, it is given in Charaka Samhita. So we'll see the reference. What is next? So this is, you can, if you have Charaka Samhita, you can open along with the Tika. Charaka Sutrasthana, first Adhyaya, 57th shloka. So here, the context that has been undergoing is three doshas, and is explaining Manasika doshas and Sharirika doshas. The shloka is Vayu Pittam Tapachoktaha Shariro Dosha Sangraha Manasaha Punavid Doshto Rujascha Tamaya Rajascha Tamaya. So he is explaining regarding the Sharirika doshas and Manasika doshas. This is the main Mula shloka of Charaka. So the commentary of this, if you will see, everybody got first Adhyaya 57th shloka. So look at the commentary of this shloka. So the commentary is quite big. So I have taken only the point which is relevant to our context. So you can see the commentary which starts from Nanu. Nanu Shonikasya api doshatvat na ayam sangraha sadhuhu. So here Chakrapani is saying that if we consider Shonikasya api, if we Nanu Shonikasya api, if we consider Shonita as one among the dosha sangraha, then it is not right. Nanu Shonikasya api doshatvat na ayam sangraha sadhuhu. So if we consider Shonita as one among the doshas, then it is not right. So here again, it further continues it. He says, Yato Raktasyapi Vatadi Vishishta Hetu Lakshana Vikara Chikitsa Nirdeshaha Kritaha. And why he says this? He says, even though Rakta is also having Vatadi Vishishta Hetu Lakshana Vikara Chikitsa Nirdeshaha. even Vishishta Hetu for Rakta has been mentioned, Vishishta Lakshana for Rakta has been mentioned, Vishishta Chikitsa of Rakta has also been mentioned. Still, we cannot consider Rakta as a dosha. So it is very clear in this. And next he says, he gives example for those. What is Vishishta Hetu, Vishishta Lakshana? He gives the example. Tatra Hetu Nirdeshu Yata Kale Cha Anavasechana. So the reference is again given in the main shloka in the commentary itself. That is Sutra, Charaka Sutra, Adhyaya 24 by, and you can know the reference there. He says if Rakta Avasechana, Rakta Moshana is not done whenever it is required, then it might lead to different vyadis, what we call as Rakta Pradoshita Vikaras. And then he says regarding the Lakshana, Lakshanam cha yatha Tapanindriya Gobhavam Padmalaka Sannibham. This is the Prakrita Lakshana of Rakta, we all have studied this. This is the Vishishta Lakshana of Rakta, what has been explained by Chakrapani. Rakta Vikarashta Raktavashaha Pradara Rakta Pittadaya Uktaha. And with respect to the Vyadi that it can lead or it can manifest. So these are the examples, Raktasha, Pradara and Rakta Pitta. Upakramascha, and with respect to the Chikitsa also, he has given Savanam Shonitasyetu. So Rakta Mokshana is considered as Vishishta Chikitsa for Rakta itself. So even though it has all these specific characteristic features, still we cannot consider Rakta as dosha because it does not have few qualities. So that is what he gives here. So this is the point where the question arises, whether can we consider Rakta as dosha or not. So this is the point of origin of the question or the doubt what we are discussing today. Right? So this is asked by Chakrapani when the discussion of dosha, Sharirika doshas was going on. So moving on, next slide. So in Sushruta, if we look at the example again, so this is one common example whenever this topic comes for discussion. The group of people or group of scholars who try to prove that Rakta is a dosha, this is a common and first example we usually take. Okay, that is Sushruta Sutrasthana, 21st chapter, 3rd shloka. If you have sutra, you can open it, or the shloka is also mentioned there. It is Vata Pitta Shleshmana Eva Deha Sambhava Hetavaha Teraiva Avyapannai Adho Madhyo Urva Sannivishtaih Shariram Vidam Dharyate Agaram Eva Stuna Stribihi Atascha Tristunam Ahureke. So here with respect to Vata, Pitta and Kapha, he has given the word as Tristuna, and next he continues this as Ta Evacha Vyapannaha Pralaya Hetavaha, and the same three when they are in their Vyapanna avastha, when they are in Vikrita avastha, they will result in Pralaya of the Sharira. And in continuing the same shloka he says Tade Bireva Shonita Chaturtaihi. So this is important. So Tade Bireva Shonita Chaturtaihi. So he categorizes Shonita as a fourth factor which he has explained. Vata Pitta Kapha as the second and third, and he considers Shonita as the fourth factor. And what does this mean? So if you look at the commentary also, there is no clear explanation why Shonita Chaturtaihi has been mentioned. So we'll see that why it has been mentioned. And again the shloka continues. So with respect to this main shloka of Sushruta Sutrasthana 21st Adhyaya is also mentioned in Charaka Sutra 1st Adhyaya 57th shloka commentary by Chakrapani. The second line what you can see, the previous shloka what we saw, where the question arises whether to consider Rakta as dosha or dhatu. So that in the same reference, this also has been mentioned. There Chakrapani says, Tata cha tantrantare api shalye shonitam doshatvena uktaha teiraitayaha shonita chaturtaihi. So he is given a cross reference there that the Shalya practitioners, that is Shalye, refers to the group of people who practice Shalya Tantra have considered Shonita as dosha. So that is doshena uktam. Shonita Chaturtaihi. So this is what Chakrapani has also opened. So now we again will have a doubt, because previously in the same shloka he has told that it cannot be considered as dosha. But again he is saying that the Dhanvantari Sampradaya people who are practicing Shalya Tantra, they are saying that Shonita Chaturtaihi. If in the Ayurveda Samhitas, if two different people have different opinions, then it is Viruddha for Siddhanta. So they cannot be there. Right? So this is the main topic of discussion what we'll be dealing today. So we are trying to analyze with different references what is available in the Samhitas, and we'll try to analyze why Shonita Chaturtaihi has been mentioned here, or the question what is like raised by Chakrapani whether the Rakta has to be considered as dosha or not. So that we are going to answer by the end of the context here. Right? And the word Shonita Chaturtaihi is important. Why? He has not mentioned that. So it is Shonita is one among the doshas. He has specifically told that Shonita Chaturtaihi. If Sushruta had considered Shonita as a Chaturtha dosha, he would have directly told Dosheshu Uktam. So one among the doshas. Shonitam Dosheshu Uktam or Shonitam Doshaihi. One among the many doshas, Shonita is also one. He would have mentioned that. But he has specifically mentioned Shonita Chaturtaihi. This is a fourth factor along with the previously three mentioned components of the body which can result in the dharana of the sharira or pralaya of the sharira in the avyapana and vyapana avastha respectively. Right? And why is this fourth place mentioned? So to that we go back to the same reference of Charaka Sutra, first adhyaya, 57th shloka, the same commentary which you have seen earlier. If you go back to the same shloka, the first part of the commentary, if somebody can read out. So in the commentary, second line, sorry. Atra pradhanatvat agre vayuruktah. Got it? Second line. So he is giving the order of the doshas with their importance. So what is the first one which comes, and he also gives the point why it has to be considered first, followed by the other doshas. Atra pradhanatvat agre vayuruktah. Vayu to be considered as the one among three doshas. Why? Pradhanyam cha ashu bhuri dharma vikara kartutvat. So because it is the main cause for the ashu bhuri dharma vikaras. So all the chronic and all the severe vikaras is caused by vata. So that is why it has to be considered first. And followed by he says Ashukari Mahashari is giving the word meaning of the explanation there. Tata ashitim vatajan vikara chatvarimshat pitta vikara vimshatihi च कफजान वक्षादि की महारोगाध्याये वातम अनुपित्तम प्रधानम. So this is important. वातम अनुपित्तम प्रधानम शरीर मूलभूत अग्नि हेतुत्वात् तथा कफादिक विकार कर्तृत्वात् कफापेक्षया च आशुकारित्वात्. And the next he says, first one is the vata, second one is pitta because it is the agni. It is the main base for agni which maintains the sharira. And followed by kapha, which is pitta is comparatively ashukari compared to kapha. So that is why the order of vata, pitta and kapha has been given. And now coming back to the same previous sloka of Charaka Sutra 21st Adhyaya, where he has mentioned Shonita Chaturtaihi. So now we can analyze why the fourth place for Shonita has been given. So it might be having some characteristic features of doshas which the previous three might have had. But still it might not have had few qualities, like one of the qualities is Swatantra Dushanatmaka. So Swatantra independently cannot vitiate or do the Dushana of the other factors. That is why it is to be considered as the fourth factor, and some of the factors that coincide with the functions of Vata, Pitta and Kapha, that makes Shonita to be included under the same group of the doshas. So this is what we have to understand by the term Shonita Chaturtaihi. Doesn't mean that he has not mentioned that Shonita is to be considered as dosha. So if he has mentioned directly that Shonita can be considered as dosha, we could have directly analyzed it as the fourth dosha and we could have referred. But he has not mentioned it. Right? So Shonita Chaturtaihi because of its importance, but relatively less because it does not have few property of or few specific property of dosha which the dosha should possess. That is Swatantra Dushanatmakatva. So that is not present in Shonita. Fine. So this Shonita Chaturtaihi doesn't directly point towards Shonita being a dosha. Moving on. A few other contexts also we can come across, like Ashtanga Sangraha, Sutra Sthana, 36th Adhyaya, fourth shloka, where Bhagavata Acharya is explaining regarding Sira Veda Vidyadhyaya. So in that he is explaining regarding the Rakta, regarding the practical lakshanas of Rakta. In the first three lines he explains Tatrambu Shariram Ahara Rasabhutam Rasakhyayam Vikrita Vikritena Tejasa Ranjitam Indragopa Akaram Cha Shasha Shonita Gunjafala Lakta Padmaka Samaranam Dhautam Cha Virajyamanam Maduram Ishat Lavanam Snigdam Asamata Shitoshnam Guru Pitta Chaya Prakopa Prashamanam Saumya Agneyam Prakritya. Then the next word is important. Raktam Ahus Tata Dosham. So he has very clearly mentioned it now. So Raktam Ahus Tata Dosham. And next, continuing he says Dusham Niti Kechet. So first he says Rakta can be taken as or understood as Dosha. And next line, in the subsequent line he is saying Dusham Niti Kechet. Kechet refers to few or opinion of some. So some authors also consider it as Dusha. And next he says Ubhayatmakam Anye. And also others will also have opinion of it can be both Dosha and it can be Dusha also. So he has given all the three opinions. Considering Rakta as Dosha, considering Rakta as Dusha, that is Dhatu, and both. So again we come across a controversial statement here. So we have come to the point of zero where we are again having the doubt whether to consider Rakta as Dosha or Dusha or both. Okay. So further that doubt will be clear. So this is one reference you can keep it in your mind where Rakta has been mentioned as Dosha and it is not very clearly explained by the Tikakaras also why it is mentioned so. In the commentary of the same shloka you can see, so where the commentator Hindu in Shashileka Vyakya of the same shloka, he has explained that Tacha Raktam Kechit Achaya Dosham Ityahur Dhanvantari Yadayah. So just like previously we have seen where the Shalya Tantra practitioners or those who practice Shalya Tantra, so that is Dhanvantari Sampradaya followers, they consider Rakta as Dosha. That is what is the opinion of Hindu also here in Shashileka Vyakya. Right? So this is one reference again where we can get a direct reference. Moving on. So now that we have come across many references which can directly point out, and now we'll come across different references which indirectly point towards Rakta being Dosha or acting as Dosha in some context, and we'll see that with respect to the Hetu, Prakopa and Samprapti, followed by Lakshana, followed by Chikitsa, and then we come to the conclusion what it can actually be. Okay, with respect to the Hetu, Prakopa of Rakta, we come across many references. The first one is again Sushruta Sutra, first Adhyaya, while explaining regarding the doshas or Vyadi Hetus. He says Vyadi Grahana Vata Pitta Kapha Shonita Sannipata Vaishamya Nimittaha Sarva Eva Vyadayo Vyakyataha. So here he is explaining regarding Bija Chatushtaja here, which there are four main components of causation of Vyadi. So under Vyadi and doshas, the hetus of the Vyadi is saying Vata, Pitta, Kapha and Shonita are the main causative factors for Vaishamya which can result in Vyadi. So this is one. The mentioning of Shonita is important here, whereas other doshas are not being mentioned along with the dosha. There is only mentioning of Shonita. It is not mentioned other dhatus like Rasa, Mamsa, Meda, Shukra and all is not mentioned. Only Shonita has been mentioned. So next one. So in the same Sushruta's reference, Rana Prashniya Adhyaya, 21st Adhyaya, we come across one more reference which says Pitta Prakopanayir Eva Cha Abhikshnam Dravasnigdam Gurubir Ahare Divasupna Krodha Anala Atapa Shrama Abhighata Jirna Viruddhadhyashanadivihi Visheshay Asut Prakopam Apadhyate. So specifically is mentioning some causative factors or the hetus which can result in the prakopa of Rakta. Again, here he has not mentioned whether it is Swatantra Prakopa or Paratantra Prakopa, but based on the first word, Pitta Prakopanayir Eva. So he says, Pitta Prakopanayir Eva refers to all the nidanas of, all the hetus of the Pitta Prakopa can also result in the Prakopa of Rakta as well. So it is indirectly we can understand it as it is Paratantra Prakopa and not Swatantra Prakopa. So here also, even though he has mentioned few factors which result in prakopa of the rakta, it is understood as paratantra prakopa and not as swatantra prakopa. Hence, again, this also completely does not define rakta as a dosha. So next one, in the example, one of the examples for a vyadhi in Sushruta Vidhana under the context of Shudra Roga. So he has mentioned स्नानोत्साद हीनस्य मलो वृषण संस्थितः यदा प्रक्लिप्यते स्वेदात् कण्डु संजनयेत् तदा तत्र कण्डूलया क्षिप्रं स्फोटः स्रावश्च जायते प्रावृषणकच्चुं तां श्लेष्म रक्तप्रकोपजा. So again, by mentioning this causative factors or hetus, the main dhatus which are responsible for the main doshas which are responsible for causation of Vrishnakacchu, he has mentioned only two, that is Shleshma and Rakta. But if we look at the clinical features also, many of the Pittaja Lakshanas can also be seen under Vrishnakacchu. And since in the previous context, Shruta has again told all the Pitta Prakopakara Nidanas can also result in Shonita Prakopa also. So here it can be indirectly understood as the same, that is Paratantra Prakopa of the Rakta due to the involvement of Pitta is leading to Vrishnakacchu and not as an independent dosha causing Swatantra Dushana. Right? Next, in the context of Udara. So next reference is again in the context of Udara, Sushruta Nidhanasthana, 7th Adhyaya. So while commenting on this, Gayadasa explains in his Nyaya Chandrika commentary, Dushi Visham Sevitam Va Tasyam Raktam Prakopayet. Raktam Vishena Sandushtam Trim Doshan Tattu Kopayet iti. So here he has given some specific points of what is the first dosha that gets Prakupita and followed by what does Shonita. Once it is Prakupita, what does it do? He says Dushi Visham Sevitam. Once the person has consumed Dushi Visham, which is one among the hetu for Dushodhara case. He is explaining Dushodhara. Under the context of Dushodhara, this shloka has been mentioned. So once Dushi Visha is consumed by the patient, soon after that it results in Tasya Raktam Prakopai. So soon after that there is Rakta Prakopa. So the first dosha which gets Prakupita with respect to Dushi Visha Sevana is Rakta. It is very clearly mentioned by Gayadasa in this shloka, followed by Raktam Vishena Sandushtam Tri Doshan Tattu Kopai. So Tattu is later or afterwards. So after the Prakopa of Rakta, there is the Prakopa of all the other three dosha, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So here we can directly get a context of the Rakta causing Dushan of Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Right? So does this mean that dosha, Rakta can be considered directly as dosha? So not very clear. Again, we'll see in what context we can consider that and what context we cannot consider that. So keep this reference in mind. Later we come back to this reference for the conclusion. Next one. So under again Sushruta's explanation in the Nidana and Samprapti of Arshas. So he has explained Prakupita dosha ekasho vishah samastaha shonita saitava. Again here also Shonita has been mentioned as one of the Veda of Arshas because of its importance. And in the same sloka continuing, he says, Yadyapi Shonita Adhishtana Vatadayo Raktarsham Sa Arambakaha. So Shonita Arshas. Under the Shonita Arshas, the context of Shonita Arshas, the main dosha that it Kupita is Raktas, followed by all the other three dosha. That is the meaning of the second line. Followed by, while commenting on this, Gayadasa in Nyaya Chandrika commentary, he says, commenting on the same shloka, the previous one, Shonitasya pradhanyartham prutak shonita karanam. So he clarifies it. He clarifies the confusion what is created by the Mula shloka, whether we have to consider Shonita as a separate dosha or not. He says Shonitasya cha pradhanyartham. So because of the pradhanyata of Shonita, it has been mentioned as a separate Veda of Arshas. But again, here also it is not clearly told that it is to be taken as dosha. So only because of the pradhanyartham, because of the pradhanyata of Shonita in the causation of Raktarshas, it has to be considered as the important one. So next, this is a very important reference. The next one, same Gayadasa commentary of Nyaya Chandrika. Under the same shloka, he explains दोष शब्दो दुष्टेषु धातुष्वपि वर्तते तदयुक्तम् एव अत्रैतावता शोणितस्यैकस्यैव दोषत्वम् उच्यते किं तर्हि न रसादीनामपि. So he is asking, so since here the first part of the highlighted shloka I can concentrate, dosha shabdo dushteshu dhatushvapi vartate. So the dushta dhatus which are there, so those dushta dhatus we can also use the word as dosha. So this is the meaning of the first part of the shloka. And next he says, in that case, why do we not consider the other doshas when we are, or we do not refer the other dushyas as dosha when they are prakupita? So that is what is the next. Doshatvam uchyate kim tarhi na rasadanyam api. For rasadi dhatus we do not use, and we use it only for rakta. So that is the question what the Vyasa has asked in this own shloka, and he answers himself in the next part of the shloka. Vrana prashnetu vrani shonitasya pradhanyartam hetvadishu prutadgrahanam iti. So he clarifies that because in the samprapti of vrana, in the formation of vrana, in the samprapti of vrana, in the vrana prashna adhyaya of Sushruta Sutra 21st adhyaya, here it is considered as the important one, and hence it is referred as dosha and not other. Doshas are not referred as dosha, even though when they are dushta, when they are prakupita, even then they are not to be considered as the doshas. Only because of the context of vrana, in vrana prashniya adhyaya, this has been explained. So now we can link this to the shonita chaturtahi, what he has mentioned in the same adhyaya, right? So shonita chaturtahi, the why the shonita chaturtahi has been mentioned, the answer is given here in Nidana Sthana, that too by Gayadasa in this Nyaya Chandrika commentary. So he has told vrana prashnetu vrane shonitasya pradhanartham. So because of the importance of or pradhanyata of rakta in the formation of vrana, that has been considered as the dosha in its dushita avastha, in its vikrita avastha, right? So you got the idea now why shonita chaturtahi is linked here, and the specifically as told vrana prashnahi, that is in the vrana prashna adhyaya, that is Sutra Sthana 21st adhyaya. Next one. Similarly, we also get in other vyadis also. It does not confine, or it does not only stick on to the vrana adhyaya also. We can see in the nidhana of mukha roga also. He says kafarakta motitvena kafaraktayoha pradhanyam. So in the pathogenesis, in the samprapti of the mukha roga, kapha and rakta are predominant. That is also mentioned by Dalhana and Gayadasa in their commentaries on commenting on the main shloka of mukha roga. Similarly, in the Madhukosha commentary also, in the same context, it has been mentioned as kafarakta yostu pradhanyena apidhanam. So because of the importance of kapha and rakta, so the same importance of kapha has also been given to rakta in the causation of mukha roga. Hence it can be understood as the dosha in the context of vyadi utpatti, because of their pradhanyata only, not because of swatantra dushanatmaka, because of their pradhanyata in causation of vyadi. This can be understood as dosha. So in the next example, again regarding the causation of karnashula, doshaihi kafapitta raktaihi, again similar example as previously told for mukha roga. The references you can note it down. You can go back and read the Mula Shloka once, and then read the commentary what I have mentioned here, so we get a link. And next he says, again Madhukosha Vyakya, in Madhavidana 57th adhyaya he says, doshai iti kapapitta raktaihi rakte api. So this part of the shloka is important. Rakte api ruja kartatvat samanyena dosha vipadeshaha. In Karnashula, the predominant lakshana, the cardinal feature what we can call is ruja, Karnashula. And that is mainly caused by rakta here, and hence it is considered as the predominant factor for the causation of Karnashula. So that is what he says by rakte api ruja kartatvat samanyena dosha vyapadeshaha. Right? Next, few more examples similar to the same with respect to hetu prakopa. In the causation of putinasya, similarly. So he says, the Dalhana says the following example: dosha vidagdhe gala talumule samvasito yasya samiranastu raktam api doshatvena vivikshitam tena doshairiti bahuvachanam. So here he is explaining Dalhanacharya is clarifying it, whether the term dosha has been explained or used only for the other three doshas or is Rakta is also involved in that or not. So for that, Atankadarpana Vyakhya, the commentary Atankadarpana by Madhavidana, he explains Doshaihi Pitta Kapha Raktaihi. So here mentioning of Pitta, Kapha and Rakta. So three doshas have been, or three components have been mentioned. We not call it as dosha for now. Pitta, Kapha, Rakta, which are the causation for Putinasya. And continuing the same sloka, he comments that Raktasyapi Tulya Doshatva Doshatvam Ato Bahuvachanam. So here Doshaihi, the word Doshaihi is Tritya Vibhakti and Bahuvachanam. So if it was only, the dosha term was referred only for Pitta and Kapha, the Doshaihi term would not have been used. Right? It have been just Doshaha, which is Vivachana. So here Doshaihi has been mentioned, which is Bahuvachana, which means it is more than two. Right? So hence Pitta, Kapha, Rakta which are mentioned, all the three should be considered as the doshas here. So that is why the word Bahuvachana has been given. If Vivachana was there, we could have excluded Rakta, we could have considered only Pitta and Kapha and not Rakta. But since it is Bahuvachana, it is very clear that we have to consider Rakta also under the doshas resulting in Putinasya. Right? So next one. And we also have discussed, as one of the students very rightly said, Rakta Pradoshita Vyadis. Right? Sushrita, all the acharyas have mentioned Rakta Pradoshita Vyadis like Visarpa, Kushta, Pidaka and so on. Many Rakta Pradoshita Vyadis have been given. The causation of that is predominantly dependent on the Rakta. It doesn't mean that Vata, Pitta, Kapha is not involved, but Pradhanyata of Rakta is there in all these vikaras, hence they are named as Rakta Pradoshita Vikaras. And why only Rakta Pradoshita Vikaras? You can also say that, sir, there are other Dhatu Doshita Vikaras also. There is no speciality in this. But since mentioning of Rakta Pradoshita Vikaras have been given, why Rakta is considered as one of the important factors in this is, we'll see that in the next session. Okay. And there is one more commentary which is given by Chakrapani. Next it is Sarvataha Pradhavati Evam Doshaha Kadachit Ekadesho Vishaha Samastaha Shonita Sahita Va Anekada Prasaranti. So this is the commentary given by Chakrapani on Sushruta Sutra 21st Adhyaya, Manaprasna Adhyaya, where Prasaravastha has been explained. So if you look at the main Mula Shloka of Prasaravastha, where the Mula Shloka is mentioned, he says Shonita Sahita Va. So the 15 types of prasaras explained will also include Shonita there and not other dhatus. And by clarifying that why Shonita has been mentioned in the Prasaravastha, the combinations of those 15 types, Rakta is involved there. The commentary is given by Chakrapani in the Anumati Tika, that is Sarvataha Pradhavati Evam Doshaha Kadachit Ekadeshu Visha Samastaha Shonita Sahita Va Anekada Prasaranti. As in the Sharira for the Chalana. Even though Vyanavada is required, but Chalana there has to be a medium of travel should be there. So without Rakta, that medium of travel will not be there. So Rakta acts as a medium of travel there along with Vata, even though the Karta here, the Prasarana Karta is Vata, but the medium of traveling is Rakta. Hence it is considered under the Prasaravastha here. This is what he mentions or explains in the commentary. And next one. Commenting on the same shloka, he continues, Shonita Sahita Va iti Paschat Vachanat Shonitasya Karya Vashat Eva. The word Karya Vashat is very important. Karya Vashat Eva Dosha Shabda Vachatyam Darshayati. So he says specifically because of the Karya Vasha, Chakrapani mentions the word Karya Vasha, and because of this Karya Vasha property of Rakta, it can be considered as dosha. And what is this Karya Vasha? If you look at the meaning of Vasha in the Sanskrit dictionary, very clearly states that for a specific cause, for a specific reason. So what is this specific cause or specific reason? For Utpatti of Vyadi. Because once the prasara is taking place along with the other doshas, Rakta will be taking all the doshas and it will be circulating, and once there is Akavai Punya at some part of the body, it undergoes, the process. There is Sthana Samshaya, then Vyaktaavastha, Vedavastha continues. There is finally a Vyadi Utpatti which happens. The same purpose is what is mentioned here as Karya Vasha. The Karya Vasha of Rakta is because for the Utpatti of the Vyadi, and there has to be the travelling of the doshas or sancharana of the doshas all over the body, and since Rakta is the main vehicle for the travelling of the doshas, it is to be considered under the term or the group doshas. Okay, remember, first term what we discussed here was Pradhanyata in the Utpatti of Vyadi. Second term is Karya Vasha, which is explained by Chakrapani. Because of these two, we can understand, or we can, for some context, we can understand Rakta as a dosha. Right? So nowhere we have come across direct reference that Rakta is considered as dosha. Because of the understandings, because of interpretation, because of the commentaries written by various acharyas on the Mula Shlokas, we can understand, right? We can understand Rakta, the importance of Rakta as dosha in Utpatti of Vyadi because of Pradhanyata, because of Karya Vasha. Two factors. Next one. So till now we have come across different contexts of Hetu and Prakopa. So now we will see different lakshanas which is specific for Rakta here. So in the context of Divaswapna, of Vrani, indulging in Divaswapna, what are the lakshanas that can be seen? The Mula Shloka is explained with Pranitopasaniya Adhyaya of Sushruta Sutra. While commenting on that, Dalhanacharya states this shloka. He says, Atra Kandu Gaurave Kafakrate Shvayatu Vedane Vatakrate Ragaha Pittajanitaha Sravo Rasakritaha. So Sravo Rasakritaha, Raktakritaha, and Rakta is mainly resulting in the Vikrita Avastha of Rakta. When Divaswapna is done by a Vrani, it is resulting in Srava. And then he says, Etena Divaswaptasya Akhila Dosha Kartatvam Uktam. So the term Akhila Dosha you have to highlight here. So Akhila is all the doshas. So he mentions the Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja and Raktaja lakshanas in the Prakupita Avastha, and then he says Akhila Dosha. That means you also have to indulge or include the Rakta also under the group of dosha. That is what Akhila Dosha refers to here. And next one, Shulam Nate Anila Daha Pitta Shofaha Kafadaya Rago Raktacha Pakaha Syadato Doshaihi Sa Shonitaihi. So in this context he is explaining again dosha symptoms with respect to different lakshanas. Without Vata there cannot be no Shula, without Pitta no Daha, without Kapha there is no Shofa, and similarly without Rakta there cannot be no Raga, there cannot be any Raga, there cannot be anything or discoloration. Syat Adato Doshaihi Sa Shonitaihi. So again here also there is specificity of Shonita mentioned here, or importance of Shonita given here, hence yes, very specifically mentioned Doshaihi Sa Shonitaihi. And look at the term Doshaihi again, here it is Tritiya Vibhakti Bahuvachana. So again it is referring to more than two, so which includes definitely Rakta also, as previously seen in the previous commentary. And next one, Kalantarena Abhyuditam tu Pittam Krutva Vashi Vatakafo Prasahya Pachantyatam Shonitam Eva Pako Mato Aparesham Vidishaha Dvitiyaha. In the context of again in the Sutrasthana Sushruta Sutra 17th Adhyaya, Amapapashwani Adhyaya is explaining this context. It says in the context of formation of Puya, and since he is explaining Shofar in the Amapapashwani Adhyaya, explains for a Shofar to be formed, the main feature is Shofar is nothing but there is a swelling, a Sthanika Shota is present. So that is caused mainly by the formation of Puya, and that Puya is formed mainly by Shonita. That is what he has mentioned. Pachatyataha Shonitam Eva Pako Mato Aparesham Vidushaha Dvitiyaha. So since all the doshas undergo Paka by Shonita, and that results in Shofa, which is the cardinal or main feature of Shofa mentioned as per Sushruta in Amapapashwani Adhyaya. So different lakshanas, many lakshanas of different vyadis are dependent mostly on the formation of different lakshanas by Rakta alone. So even though other doshas are involved, Rakta is causing very specific features of those diseases, which can make us think about the pradhanyata of Rakta in those contexts. So, based on the adhikara, we are trying to understand the importance of Rakta here. Based on the context, based on the adhikara. Right? Moving on. Next one, based on the chikitsa, in the context of chikitsa. Again, we come across many contexts as previously in Charaka Adhyaya, first shloka, the commentary we saw. So, he has very clearly mentioned as the Rakta Mokshana is one of the Vishishta Chikitsa for Rakta, which is just like Basti for Vata, Virechana for Pitta and Vamana for Kapha. Similarly, Rakta also has Vishishta Chikitsa, which is nothing but Rakta Mokshana. The context are mentioned here, Charaka Sutra 24, Shonita Varnaniya Adhyaya, Kuryat Shonita Rogeshu, Rakta Pitta Hari Priyam, Virekam Upavasam Cha Shravanam Shonitasya Cha. Again, Shonita Strava or Rakta Mokshana is considered as Vishishta Chikitsa along with Virechana and Upavasa. Okay. Next, in the Sushuddha Sharira Sthana also, the same context has been mentioned, Siravida Chikitsardham Shalyatantre Prakirtataha. Because of the importance of Rakta given in Shalyatantra, and the Chikitsa specifically for Rakta has been considered as Ardha Chikitsa. Just like Basti has been considered as Ardha Chikitsa for in Kaya Chikitsa, Siravedana or Rakta Mokshana is considered as Ardha Chikitsa for Shalyatantra. And last, Ashtanga Sangraha also quotes the same with different terminologies. Siraveda Chikitsardham Sampurnamva Chikitsitam, and he says Sampurnamva Chikitsitam. It is not Ardha Chikitsa, it is the complete Chikitsa which are involving Rakta as the main causative factor. Shalyatantra Smruto Yat Bastihi Kaya Chikitsate. Similarly, as Basti is important or Sampurna Chikitsa in Kaya Chikitsa, and here Siravedana or Rakta Mokshana, type of Rakta Mokshana is to be considered as Sampurna Chikitsa for Shalyatantra. So this is the opinion of Bhagavata. So next, in the context of, as we have seen, Hetu, Prakopa, Lakshana and Chikitsa. So coming to the context of Rakta Sthana and Guna and their karmas. Again we come across many references indicating its pradhanyata, that is Shonitasya Sthana, Yakrat Pihna. Just like we have Vata Sthana, Pitta Sthana, Kapha Sthana in the Sharira as the Adho, Madhya and Urva Bhaga of the Sharira. Shonita has also been allocated with some specific sthana, that is Yakrat and Priya. Hence, it is having some factors similar to the other doshas as well. And also Lakshanas, the same Lakshanas, example we have seen previously also. Indra Gopa Pratikasham, Asammadam, Avivarnam Cha, Prakristitam, Janiya. So the practical Lakshanas of Rakta is also mentioned, just like practical Lakshanas of Vata, Pitta, Kapha have been mentioned by the Acharyas. Similarly, practical Lakshana of Rakta is also being mentioned. The next one, the karma of Rakta. Dehasya Rudiram Mulyam Rudirena Iva Dhagate Tasman Yattena Samraksham Rakta Jivaiti Sitaha. And since the major dharana of the Sharira is dependent on Rakta, it can be considered as one of the major component which sustains the life. Hence it is called as Raktam Jivamiti Sitaha. And for the sthiti of Deha, Rakta should be very much required. So it indicates the predominance of or significance of Rakta with respect to karma. So moving on, again, the importance of Rakta in Deha Dharana is also given here. Nate Deha Kafadasti, Na Pitta Nachamarpat, Shonitat Api Vanityam, Dehe Etaistu Dharyate. So along with Vata Pitta Kapha, which helps in Dharana in that Prakrita Avastha, Shonita also, Shonitat Api Vanityam, Dehe Etaistu Dharyate. So Nitya Deha Dharana is also done by Shonita along with the other doshas, that is Vata Pitta and Kapha. In commenting on this, so the same shloka, Chakrapani, in this Manumati Tika, he comments, Api Shabdena Shonitasya Atravi Mukyatham Dashrayati. The word Api is explained along with Shonita. Shonitat Api. So, the Shonitat Api Shabdena Shonitasya Atra Abhimukyatham Dashrayati. It's very, since Rakta is very significant in the Dehadharana, it is also included under the same category of the dosha. That is what Shonitasya Abhi Mukyatam refers to. Atra Abhi Mukyatam is very significant. It is superlative degree. Atra Abhi Mukyatam. So, based on this, we can know that there is very important or significant role of Rakta in the dharana of the Deha, just like the doshas in the Prakrita Avastha do. Right? So, moving on. So, till now we have seen indirect references, some direct references where we can somehow understand that Rakta is acting as a dosha in maybe causation of Vyadi, in manifestation of some Lakshanas, or in with respect to Chikitsa. And similarly, there are some references which directly say that it cannot be considered, Shomita cannot be considered as dosha. So we come across that few references also. So basically, to consider anything as dosha, as I said, Swatantra Dushanatmakatva should be present. So here, Swatantra Dushanatmakatva is very important, and all those contexts previously what we have seen, where Shomita is acting as a predominant hetu for causation of Vyadi, it is acting based on Paratantra Prakopa. The context of Swatantra Prakopa and Paratantra Prakopa will be in detail explained by Vijay Sharaf sir in the later classes once he explains dosha. So we will not be going in detail into that. Just for your understanding, Swatantra Prakopa is if the doshas are getting Prakopita with respect to their own hetus, it is called as Swatantra Prakopa. If the doshas are getting, or if any component is getting Prakopita with respect to the other hetus, then it is called as Paratantra Prakopa. So here all the Prakopa of the Rakta is Paratantra Prakopa because all the Nidanas are with respect to the Pitta and not directly indicated to Rakta. So it is all Paratantra Prakopa. Hence this feature of dosha, that is Swatantra Dushanatmakatva, will not justify Rakta being considered as dosha. So again, second one, Dushan of dosha and dusha. So even though this might be taken as because Rakta is causing Dushan of the doshas and dusha, one of the example that we saw was in the context of Dushodhara, where it is very clearly given. Dushi Visham Senyam Tasya Raktam Prakopai. So because of the same of Dushi Visham, Rakta gets Prakopita first, followed by the Prakopa of the other three doshas. Again, here also we have to understand it is undergoing Paratantra Prakopa and not Swatantra Prakopa. And similarly, Arambhakatva of again Vyadi. So even though the Rakta is capable of manifesting the Vyadi because of Paratantra Prakopa, it is not with its own initiation. It is by the initiation of either Vata, Pitta or Kapha. The shloka is given by Sushruta. We will see that in the next slide. So there is no Swa Arambhakatva of the Vyadi by Rakta alone. It is with the help of Vata or Pitta or Kapha. That is, in turn we can understand with the help of Paratantra Prakopa. And finally, Prakritya Arambhakatva. So there is Vataja Prakriti, Pittaja and Kaphaja Prakriti, whereas there is no mentioning of Raktaja Prakriti. We can have Raktaja Sara Lakshanas, but Raktaja Sara Lakshanas is entirely different than Raktaja Prakriti. So since these characteristic features of a typical dosha will not be justified by the Rakta, we cannot directly consider or we cannot directly categorize Rakta as dosha. And some of the other examples again by Chakrapani in Bhanumati Tika we can see again in the same context of Prashniya Adhyaya, 21st chapter of Sushruta Sutra. He says Raktasyapi Shalya Shastra Pradhana Vranadhishthanasya Hetu Linga Chikitsa Vishesha Prayojakataya Pradhanya Kyapanartham Dosha Tulyataya. So it is like giving a gist of all of these things. So it very clearly says Pradhana Kyapanartham Dosha Tulyataya. Because of its Pradhanata in causing Vyadi, in manifesting Lakshanas, or with respect to Chikitsa, it has to be considered under dosha and not because it is having all the qualities what a dosha should possess. So here it is only because of its Pradhanyakyam in the manifestation of Vyadi, it can be considered under dosha. Dosha Tulyataya, it is similar. Again, it is not very equal, it is not equal to dosha, it is dosha Tulyataya. Tulya means similar. It is similar to the dosha, it is acting similar to the doshas. Next, while explaining in the same adhyaya again, while explaining different nirukti of the doshas, he explains Vata, Pitta, Kapha, but there Sushruta also doesn't explain the nirukti of Rakta as a separate entity. So this is also a clue for understanding that Rakta cannot be directly grouped under doshas. And in the third shloka of Pranaprashniya Adhyaya, he says Tristuna. Vata, Pitta and Kapha are to be considered as Tristuna, what he says, which maintains the equilibrium of the body. If we consider the concept of Tristuna, it is not mentioned as Chaturstuna. So there is no mentioning of Chaturstuna anywhere. So the concept of Tristuna holds good only if we consider Vata Pitta Kapha as three doshas, and that again does not include the Shonita as a fourth dosha there. So we cannot directly categorize it under doshas. And next very important shloka in the same adhyaya. In the third shloka of Ranaprashniya adhyaya, he mentions as Shonita Chaturtaihi. But in the same adhyaya, in 26th shloka, he mentions Yasmad Raktam Vina Doshairna Kadachit Prakopyati. It is a direct restrictive statement what he is giving here. Yasmad Raktam Vina Doshairna Kadachit Prakopyati. Because without any involvement of the other doshas, Rakta individually cannot undergo Prakopa. This is very clearly given as an assertive declarative sentence here. Tasmat tasya yatha dosham kalam vidya prakopane. So as the other doshas get prakopita as per the kala, along with that if Rakta is involved, Rakta also get prakopita, and it is not Swatantra Prakopa. It is again Paratantra Prakopa, which is caused by involvement of other doshas, not with the involvement of Rakta alone. Or it is not causing, it is not Arambhakatva is not happening here. It is just as an association with other doshas, it is getting Prakopita. And also next sloka in Sushruta Uttara Tantra, he says Nacha Swatantrena. So all the Swatantra Prakopa and Paratantra Prakopa what we discussed here. So Dalhana in Sushruta Uttara Tantra, he explains this context also. He says Nacha Swatantrenasya Prakopaha Kintu Sarvada Paratantrena Eva. So he also very clearly clarifies that all the previous context what we have discussed or what you have seen, which is indicative of Rakta being the dosha or Rakta being a main causative factor acting as dosha, it is because of Paratantra Prakopa and not because of Swatantra Prakopa. So it is very clear now. So it is not having all the properties which it should possess like a dosha. The next Chakrapani on Sushruta Sutra 24th adhyaya, he says Shonitashraya iti bhashya Shonitasya vatadivat swatantrena rogakartvam nirakaroti. That is, Vata, similar to Vatadi doshas, Shonita will not have the property of Swatantra Dushanatmakatva. It is only by Paratantra Dushanatmakatva it can result in or it can manifest different vyadis and not because of its own Prarambhakatva. So it is very clear. So now, few more examples which will directly indicate. Sharad Shamsi Bhavati Vata Pitta Kapha Shoni Sanipati Sadhani Chaiti. So but in the context of Shushruta Nidana in Samprapti we saw, there is mentioning of Shonita there. Right? And Shonita is explained because of its Pradhanyata, Prabhimukam, it is to be considered under the doshas. And to understand this, our Acharyas have given a specific Nyaya, that is Vrita Dhagda Nyaya, or it is called as Sneha Dhagda Nyaya. So what does it explain? Like for example, if you take a hot ghee or hot oil and if you pour it on your skin, so what does it happen? What will it result in? So it will burn your skin, right? So then what do you say that? Grita burnt your skin, or the Agni inside the Grita burnt your skin? So it is not the Grita which is burning your skin, it is the Agni which is present inside the Grita or inside the thaila which is causing the Dagdavarna. Right? That is what is called as Grita Dagda Nyaya or Sneha Dagda Nyaya. So any Sneha, similarly when you make it hot and pour it over your skin, it results in Dagdavarna. So that is what is mentioned here. Yadyapi Shonita Adhisthana Vatadayo Rakta Arshas Arambhakaha Tata Apyupachara Shonita Jani Ityuchate. The word Shonita Jani or Shonita Sahita mentioned in that context is because, or it is to be understood with respect to Vrita Dagda Nyaya. That means the doshas, Vata Pitta Kapha, along with Rakta are causing this Vyadhi. That is, it can be Rakta Arshas, it can be Rakta Pradara, or it can be any of the Rakta Pradoshana Vyadhis. It is because of the other doshas, Vata Pitta Kapha, being associated, and the manifestation is maybe because of the Rakta Jalakshanas. But still, Vata Pitta Kapha will be involved there, and it is not by Rakta alone. So this you have to remember as it is because of the Vrita Dagda Nyaya or Sneha Dagde Nyaya. That is what he says. Gritadishtano Agnina Dagde Grita Dagde Ichate. Grita Adishtana Agni. So the Agni which is present inside the Grita is causing the Dagdavana, not because of Grita Anu. Right? And similarly the same example is given by Dalhana also. He says Shonitajo Ayam Ityadi Vipadesho Grita Adi Dagdavat. Gritadi Dagdavat. Similar, same context. And similarly the same has been explained by Arunadatta also in the commentary of Ashtanga Sutasthana first Adhyaya. He says Yatha Gritasya Antarhitena Agnina Dagdo Grita Dagda Ityuchate. The same explained by Dalhana Chakrapati is also explained by Arunadatta also in the commentary. The Grita Dagda Nyaya should be kept in mind for understanding all the Rakta Pradoshaja Vyadis. And similarly Chakrapani also, Charaka Sutasthana first Adhyaya says Sneha Dharena Vahadina Dagde Sneha Dagda Iti Vyapadeshaha. So all the Vyadis or Lakshanas manifested by Rakta is because of its association with Vata Pitta or Kapha and being presented. In the presentation wise, Rakta might be predominant or significant, but it also means that Vata Pitta Kapha are involved along with that. So next, there is one more example which disprove the consideration of Rakta as dosha. In Sushruta Sutra 15th Adhyaya, he says there are two factors which will prevent us from measuring the doshas, dhatus or mala. So what is that? Vailakshnyat shariram asthayitva tataivacha dosha dhatu malanam cha parinamam na vidhyet. So it explains Vailakshnya and Asthayitvat. So Vailakshnya and Asthayitvat refers to, like for example, if we are from the morning we are sitting here, so if we measure the dosha dhatu mala pramanas in our body, it might be different something else. Or once we went back to the lunch, we had some kapha prakopakara aharas, we came back and we measure the dhatu, dosha dhatu mala, no, the constituents might be different. Right? This is not fixed, it is not stable. So because of the daily variations, because of the seasonal variations, because of manasika involvement and because of ahara and vihara. So all these will affect the pramana of the dosha, dhatu and mala. So hence we cannot measure dosha, dhatu and mala, but in the mentioning of the pramana of rakta dhatu, it is mentioned as ashta pramana. So here again this is one which directly indicates, but dosha pramanas is not mentioned anywhere, right? So since Raktaja pramana is mentioned, we can consider that it is not a dosha. We can understand that it cannot be considered under dosha. And also as previously said, Prakritya Arambhakatva is not there for Rakta. So it is not capable of producing its own Prakriti. Hence, that is also a factor which we can consider for understanding Rakta as only dhatu and not as dosha. And finally, so there is one more context where Dalhana in Sushruta Uttara Tantra 66 Adhyaya. The last Adhyaya says Dhatura Malanam cha dosha samsargo dosha vipadesho ityadi pratipadhanartha. So Dhatuna Malanam cha dosha samsargo dosha vipadesho. Dhatus and Mala, if they are associated with the doshas in Prakopavastha, only in those incidents, only in those contexts, in those adhikaras, we can consider or we can call them as dosha, dosha vipadesha ityadi pratipadhanartha. When they are in Prakrutavastha, Vikritavastha, and when they are associated with other doshas, only then we can call the doshas or dhatus or malas as dosha. And this is very clearly mentioned by Dalhanacharya also in Sushruta Uttara 66 Adhyaya 6th Shloka commentary. And finally there are some declarative statements, or we can call it as Siddhantas of Ayurveda, which goes against considering Rakta as dosha. Like as I said, Vayu Pitta Kapha Cheti Sharira Dosha Sangraha. So it is a declarative Siddhanta, we cannot change it. So if we consider or if we try to consider Rakta as a dosha, this Siddhanta becomes wrong. Right? So Siddhanta cannot become wrong. So it might be our understanding which has gone wrong. So we can consider or we can understand Rakta as dhatu or pusha alone and not as dosha. Similarly, Ashtanga also mentioned the same. Vayu Pitta Kapha Sheti Trayo Dosha Samasatha. So here also there is a declarative sentence as Trayo Dosha Samasatha. Overall, Samasatha there is only 3 doshas and not the 4th one which is shown here. Fine. So overall, so now that we have come across many references, some indicating Rakta being considered as dosha and some being disproving Rakta being considered as dosha. So what we can finally come to a conclusion as? So we can, instead of categorizing or instead of trying to group Rakta under dosha, we can understand Rakta as dosha in some context based on the pradhanyata with respect to some factors. One is pradhanartham with respect to manifestation of the samprati, lakshana and chikitsa. That is what we have seen. Pradhanyata of the Rakta in manifestation of Vyadhi we can consider, and also because of Karyavasha as explained by Chakrapani. Because of a specific cause, Karyavasha. Because of a specific reason. So what is that reason? Again it is Vyadhi Utpatti. So we can consider or we can understand. We can understand in those adhikaras as Rakta as dosha. And dosha sanya tu पीड़ा कर्तृत्व सामान्य दोषो अपिस्यात् शुश्रुतेतु शोणितस्य दोषत्वं व्रणेषु प्रायः शोणित दुष्टि दर्शन. Same context what we have previously seen. Because of the Vranadhyaya, because of the significance of Rakta or Shonita in the manifestation of Vrana, Shrushruta has mentioned its importance as dosha. So the same thing. So Pradhanyartham, Atrabhyadokyatam and Karyavasha. So based on these 3 factors, we can understand dosha as Rakta as dosha, and in only those adhikaras we can consider or we can understand. For understanding the context, we can consider the Rakta as dosha. And also similarly we can understand Rakta as only dosha when it comes to Dehadharana properties. Dehadharana Chalana, like as it is doing the karma of the Pirinana and Dharana, it can be understood as only dosha. And since many factors like Swadhata Dushanashmaka cannot be justified by considering Rakta as dosha, because of that, and Prarabhakatva is not there, and other doshas are also not there by Rakta, and also because of Rakta Prakriti not being mentioned by any of the Acharyas, we can disprove Rakta being considered as dosha, and we can take it as, or we can understand it as only dosha. And also because of the, as previously seen, Swatantra Dushanatmaka is not there. It is only because of the Paratantra Dushanatmakatva it is causing different Vyadhis or Rakta Pradoshita Vyadhis. Hence, we can come to a conclusion that it can be understood based on the Adhikara. Like based on the Adhikaras, if you are discussing or if you are trying to explain the importance of Rakta with respect to Utpatti of Vyadhi, we can consider it as dosha. If you are going through a context with respect to Dehadharana, Pridana and Karma of the Rakta, you can understand it as the Dhatu. So it can be understood as both depending on the Adhikara of the Rakta and because of the Pradhanyata of the Rakta. So it is both, mutually you can take it as Rakta as dosha and Rakta as Dhatu as well, but nowhere in the context, nowhere in the classics we can directly say with 100% proof that Rakta is told as dosha alone. It is based on the context, based on the Adhikara, it can be taken as both. Right? So this is again, we come across many different opinions based on this. So this is just my opinion which I have shared. So if you have any doubts, we can have a discussion on that. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. So if you have any queries, you can go ahead and ask.
ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್